What up, guys? So, I don't know if you guys have seen, but Jalen Johnson was just ruled out for the rest of the season with a torn pec, I believe. I can't remember exactly what it was. Something with his shoulder, and the Hawks have no chance at competing for an NBA championship anymore. That's just the truth of the matter. And does that really suck? Yeah. Is it the end of the world for the Hawks? No. So, I am going to get more into Larry Nance Jr. later. That is going to be in my title. A lot of people don't understand why I rank Larry Nance so high. I'm going to explain that. But I just want to talk about what I think the Hawks should do. So, right here, Risticher, 19 years old. That's pretty crazy. Of course, salaries are getting blocked out. He's making 12.6 million a year already, which is really that's a lot of money, especially when you see Jalen Johnson right here only making 4.5. Jalen Johnson is one of the best players in the league, one of the most efficient players and versatile players in the entire league. This 12.5 million for Risticher in any rookie really is asking for a whole lot outside of, like the very top tier elite that maybe there's one in each draft, maybe. And sometimes there are more. But yeah, that's a lot. Anyways, when you're paying a rookie 12.5 million, you need them to produce way more than that because on a rookie contract, that's the most team friendly contract that player is probably going to have in the NBA until they're either washed and old and have a diminished role or they're just out of the league. But they have to give this man minutes. Like, that's why I say it's not the end of the world for them. I'm I've seen good and bad from Risticher. I think it's concerning that his role has been reduced so greatly, and he is not NBA ready. He's constantly lost on the court, and I would expect that from almost any 19-year-old. That's asking a whole lot. So, at this point, though, with Jalen Johnson ruled out, you know you're not competing for a championship. Risticher needs to get 32 minutes a night minimum. He needs to get as much experience under his belt as possible because he is going to be the possibly the key to the Hawks actually competing because I mean, this is the first overall pick, right? I actually have to look this up. Yeah, he was the first overall pick. So it's too much to think about how the Hawks rotation will be when he actually does develop because I'm sure the roster construction will change. It pretty much has to change. Uh, if you guys don't know, the Hawks have been drafting long athletic forwards since DeAndre Hunter, which is a long time. DeAndre Hunter, Cam Reddish, Jalen Johnson, Risticher, they have just been trying their very best to find pieces for Trae Young. We'll see. They definitely hit on Jalen Johnson, hit big time. However, at this point, I think the Hawks, you play Trae. If he's injured at all, you sit him. You don't risk any serious injury, and obviously there's always risk for injury with any professional sport. But you want Trae to play as much as possible with him, 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 which is injured. So him already has great synergy with Double O. So you don't really have to play Double O, but you want Double O getting experience. They've started Clint for way too long since they drafted Double O. Definitely want Keaton to get minutes, and basically you just go with the youth movement, and you say this season is now purely to develop. Bog has been unhealthy all season. I think probably play Larry Nance like 20 minutes a game just to build his synergy with Trae, and just completely look forward to next season. If you win games, that's great. I don't think the Hawks should tank at all, but I don't think they should be risking anything anything at all, really. Outside of normal risk that come from just playing the game. If anybody's injured, automatically rule them out, and they just gotta look forward to next season. Does that suck? Yes, but when you lose Jalen Johnson, the way the league is constructed with all the talent throughout every single roster, and also who Jalen Johnson is and what he is to this team, the reason the Hawks have had so much success is because Dyson and Jalen Johnson are two of the best defenders in the league, and they are both problems for anybody, any team, really. Well, I can't. Dyson is only 200 pounds at 6'7". That's crazy. What the. Bro! Yo, these. What is this? These motherfuckers need to start spamming protein shakes or something. What the hell? Is that normal in the NBA? Wow. Okay. These heights just. I guess that is right. It's just so weird to me. Uh wow. Okay. Sorry. This is actually so crazy to me. 6'1" once. Well, okay. So we know Trey is not 6'1". You guys can look it up yourself. Not gonna get into it. I don't give a shit what height somebody is. If they can ball, they can ball, and it's plain and simple to me. I do think most of these heights are very greatly inflated, very greatly, because this, bro. I don't even know what to say. This is so crazy. Like, this is border. Only 220? What the fuck? It's just. I gotta pause again. These guys are legit like twigs. Uh, I'm shocked. These heights, they just can't be right. There's no way. There's no way. There's no way. But I digress. This is a video about height and weight. So, the first reason why I like Larry Nance so much is because he is a disruptor. And the Hawks, we've already seen, they have Dyson Daniels is a disruptor. Jalen Johnson is a disruptor. Larry Nance, disruptor. But when you have disruptors on your team, you can completely alter teams' game plans. And getting this from a true center now in the NBA was once a power forward. When he came into the league, he was a power forward. But the NBA has changed. He is a true center now and can guard every single center in the league. When you get somebody that can create so much disruption, especially with against bigs who we know don't have the best handles, it's just that's what it is. It's game changing. And so that's reason number one. And here's further proof. People, I think, didn't realize Larry Nance was actually a league leader in steals. And you can see this is from January 5th, 2021. So, yes, it is 4 years old. However, this is a significant sample size. This is nearly half of the season done at this, well, 40% of the season done, and he's the league leader. That is a significant sample size. And it further illustrates, yes, Larry Nance Jr. is a disruptor. And you see the very next sentence right here. 40% from the three-point line. As a center, being able to do that, I'm sure you guys know, that is game-changing as well. And his three-point shot has looked even better this year. It has looked solid. I know he shot 1 of 4 last night or something, of course, when I'm doting on him. That's what happens. But one game sample size doesn't mean shit. And you can see this is most threes in a game, alright, guys? Already 5 twice in 2024. 3. And he really wasn't a big three-point shooter or scorer at all until this season. And you can just see, like, bro, he has transformed his game. You guys see how many 2024s there are on here, which is this season? A couple not, but obviously a new element of his game has been added. Okay, and here we're just going to run through his regular season so far. So of course, this is versus Houston. Nobody shoots well against Houston. Still, gave you 2 steals and a three and a block. Really helped ATL stay in this game, even though he shot poorly. Their whole team shot poorly. I think they shot less than 40% as a team. Yeah, that was a real barn burner, as the old heads would say. Uh, and then game before that, unfortunately, 0 for 4. Coming back off of serious injury, though, he had hand surgery. If you guys don't know, so okay, 12.5% from three. That's gonna happen coming back from injury. Let's look at his last stretch. Steals, there. Blocks, there. Decent amount of points to very good points. Get your rebounds. Solid ball handler as well. You know, for a big, he's a great ball handler, and you can open up so many things. Dribble handoffs. You know, I was thinking Draymond. One of his best aspects is his ability to keep the ball on a dribble handoff and just get a free layup. Larry Nance, he's not as good as Draymond, of course, at doing that, but he can do that. And you can see on this stretch, 42% from three. Okay, 100% from the line. Actually, 6 for 6 from the line. We take those all day. Like 100%. That's great. Even though it's a very small sample size, so I wouldn't put so much stock in it. 1.3 blocks, 1.5 steals, only 2 fouls, giving you 12 points, 7 rebounds in only 25 minutes. 53% from the field. This is elite production from a backup, especially a backup big. And unfortunately, injuries have been a problem, and they probably will continue to be. But this is when they played the Celtics. He's the reason they won this game, and this was NBA Cup game. So the Celtics were going as hard as they could. A beautiful game, a beautiful game. Uh, he's had some not so great games, but also, I think really, I'm not sure what happened, but this game his minutes were greatly increased. This one too. Let's check actually. Probably injuries. All right, this is the Celtics game, bro. They didn't have Trae Young, and they still beat the Celtics, guys. Wow. Um, I should have realized that the Celtics had problems. I mean, it's a 1 game sample size early in the season too. You can't see, but Celtics were 9-3 at the time. I don't like putting too much stock into single games. But you can see clearly, Larry Nance had an immense impact on this game. The other one, so this was just without DeAndre Hunter. They had everybody else, and he came in and filled that role perfectly. You can't see 14 points though. Awesome. And the reason I'm bringing this up is without DeAndre Hunter, if excuse me, without Jalen Johnson now, I probably would start DeAndre Hunter and then Larry Nance takes over the 6 man role. It depends where Versature's at. It's really, there's so many unknown variables or not well fleshed out variables that we don't have enough sample size to make a proper good decision, permanent decision. So, but Larry Nance is capable of adding that production back. And he's a really good player now, guys. I don't, outside of these stats, and especially since December, just watch him play and you can see it. And even since, like, with his stint with the Cavs, I think really helped him. And that's where he really started being like, okay, this is a guy. This is somebody who can wreck games. But through the totality of the season, giving you 20 minutes, you guys can read the stats. What sticks out to me is this: 46.6% from three, 80% free throw on a very, very limited volume. So don't put too much stock into that. And 2 stocks per game with only less than a turnover, 9 points. That is very, very, very good production. Players. So let's think about this too. If you give, what players can you take from another team, any team, or Anybody, who can you take and put in Larry Nance's role, and they will be able to give you these same numbers? I honestly don't know a single person. And then you combine that with his versatility as a defender, his size, being able to defend centers. He's a very solid decision maker. I'm not going to say he's a lead or anything like that, but he's fine. He's not going to hurt you as a decision maker. And he's extremely athletic too. Again, we know Larry Nance Jr. as a dunker. We know he can dunk. Playing with Trae Young, that is a huge asset to just have somebody that can come in and be like that. But that's Larry Nance Jr. is very, very slept on, especially the last 4 or 5 years. I don't know why. I think people dislike him because with the Lakers, he didn't work out, which is a Lakers problem, not a player problem. The Lakers are a fucking joke. In conclusion, losing Jalen Johnson, it's a huge hit to the Hawks. I would say, it's not quite the same as losing Trey. It might be. It's right up there. Trey's probably like right here, and then losing Jalen is just slightly behind him. Because what Jalen Johnson does on the court, it's impossible to replicate. Let me think if anybody can. I dare say maybe LeBron. And LeBron, if LeBron was the same age as Jalen Johnson, for sure. But that is the level of respect and just the level of play Jalen Johnson brings to the table. There, his ability to defend, his efficiency, his ability to pass, combined with the size he is and how athletic he is, it's impossible to replace that. It really is. He is such a special player. So that the Hawks know this too. They know they hit on him. They know how good he is. And I don't think they're gonna tank, but they need to go with the youth movement. Fit 30 minutes a night minimum. Keem Wallace, same thing, approaching 30. Even though he's a point guard, he wants the ball just like Trey. Give him minutes with Trey. See how he works with Trey. Seriously, play him at the 2. Dyson Daniels, he's very young. I think he's only 21. Keep getting him experience as well. And of course, Risticher, just 30 minutes a night minimum. Just see what you got in these guys and let them make mistakes. Now is the time for ATL to make mistakes because their championship aspirations are done. If I was ATL, I would probably consider trading DeAndre Hunter too. He's had some very, very good stretches this season. I mean, he was sixth man of the year for me until pretty recently. Like last week or two, he's been shaky, and that just happens with shooters. You're going to get hot, you're going to be cold. I think they could get a pretty good haul for him, and they just have to look to the future. This season is cooked for them. As sad as it is, that's what happens when you lose a player the caliber of Jalen Johnson. And then final thing, I just want to showcase Larry Nance, how greatly he's improved. So you can look at the stats yourself, but here he was seriously only a dunker, good defender, solid defender, but pretty much only guarded fours, threes, fours, fives. He's improved greatly. Right here is pretty much where he took the next step to me. And let's see if the stats reflect that. Assists nearly tripled, if not greater. Rebounds about the same. Free throws about the same. Field goal percentage about the same. But 3-point percentage greatly improved here. Okay, it just felt like when he got to this point with the Cavs, the first full season he had with the Cavs, he was a different player. And, all this bullshit with the Lakers, it just show you guys the Lakers, they're a sad, sad, sad franchise. And it sucks because they're, we all know the Lakers are one of the most historic, and you think basketball, you think Celtics Lakers, it's just what it is. So it's so sad to see them be this horrible. But yeah, you can clearly see after Larry Nance left the Lakers, there's a massive improvement in his game. Massive. And then fast forward with the Pelicans. I'm not sure what happened here. I think he really didn't have a role here. Let me check out the teams. Yeah, I don't even know what to say about these teams. They weren't good. Even though they have the talent. They have way too many players wanting to do the same thing. Let's just say that. And so it was really hard for anybody to get consistency going or have a defined role besides I mean, yeah, even Jesus Christ, looking at this team, my God, I don't know what the front office was thinking. Yikes. You know what's really interesting? So this season, last year, I think it was the first year with CJ. Oh my God, let me check. So second season with CJ, first full season with CJ, and he goes from a oh barely 30% 3-point shooter, if not lower than that, from the previous career to over 40%. That is a massive increase, and 61 games to do that. That is enough sample size to say yes, there is something has changed, and he is now a serviceable 3-point shooter. Only 1 3 a game. A lot of weird things going to that, including role and playing time and playing circumstances as well. He was really buried on the depth chart on this team. But you can see with the Hawks, clearly, a significant sample size. And, you know, you don't really argue with something like that. Facts are facts, which I love to say. But, here too, you can see 1.7 steals a game. This was when he was leading the league. He got injured and then came back and really couldn't find that same magic again. But it's there. It's there. The potential is there. The ability is there. It's on the coaching staff to bring that out. And I really do think ATL is bringing it out. And he's looked so good with ATL. So we'll see. Right now, where would I rank him? Top 80, top 70, somewhere in there. And like I said, guys, tell me who can do what Larry Nance is doing on the Hawks right now. That's all I want to know. And I think Larry Nance, if you take him, put him to another team with a solid ball carrier, solid ball handler that knows how to create, he's going to still be a 40% three-point shooter. His shot looks so good. It looks so fucking good. Let me just bring up some shots. Okay, and this is, just the advantages of playing with Trey. But that's a no-doubter shot. That's beautiful. Okay, I'm not... Like I said, competent ball handler in the Draymond role. Being that dribble handoff guy, decision maker. It is a very, very powerful and underrated, really nice screen there. Double screen. And the three that's a no doubt about it shot, guys. I don't know what to say. I don't know what else to say. Perfect 2025 defense there. Larry Nance isn't really that popular of a player. That's with Wemby contesting, no doubt about it. So I just picked the first the first highlights that came up. And like I was saying, playing with a competent point guard who's going to get somebody good shots. Larry Nance is probably going to shoot 40% from three still. Not even on ATL. And again, playing with Trey, he's very good hands for a big. Very good. I forgot about that. I remember that now. Dre just absolutely bitched with me. But I hope people do realize it. But if you are an actual shot blocker in the NBA, you are going to get postered. That's just part of it. And you're going to get reverse posters too. So people really need to, you got dunked on, get wrecked. But that's all it is. People make it way more than it actually is. Jalen Johnson signing. This this team, they have so much height. Okay, yikes. Hard to deal with. Hard to deal with. So, that is why I have Larry Nance ranked so high, and that is what I think the Hawks should do. It's so unfortunate. Jalen Johnson, such a important player to the entire league. We need players like Jalen Johnson, and I hate to see him injured. It happens though, and hopefully this will be, the one thing for his career, the next several years at least, and he can stay healthy, and we'll see the Hawks make a run. I don't know how much I've talked about this, but I go for really. I grew up in Alabama, uh, but I go for. I have love for Atlanta and Tennessee teams. That's the pro teams I had access to as a kid. So they have a special place in my heart, and it's really sad to see them suck so much. I'd love to see the Grizzlies playing so well. Uh, I do really. I root for pretty much every team. If you guys don't know that, people in my comments seem to think that I'm not gonna get into that too much. But I don't know what the fuck I'm yapping about. Thank you guys for watching. Questions, comments, concerns, leave them. If you disagree with what I'm saying, leave your rationale why, and we'll talk about it. All right. The most important thing, take it from somebody who knows a lot more about basketball than the average person, especially the average person in my comments. Start watching games yourself. Start watching film yourself. Start making your own replays and thinking, why is this happening? What led to this? Okay? Stop just letting media and other people make your decisions for you. Also, don't gamble. Please, for the love of God, guys, do not gamble. Most of you guys, the takes that I see in my comments, I'm like, okay, this is why sportsbooks make so much money. You guys have no fucking clue what you're talking about. But I know those are the vocal minority that are negative, and I know I'm not sure. Like, a lot of my people don't comment on my shit, especially when I get over 1K views, which I'm very happy about. But the only comments I see on it are like mostly negative, which sucks. But I know that's the vocal minority, and if you like my stuff, I'm looking out for those comments. I do want to thank you. If you don't want to comment, that's fine too. Thank you for watching, and I hope I'm opening up some new perspectives in your mind, especially about basketball and especially about what a winning player is and how players can contribute to teams aside from scoring or other stats, because there's so much that goes into basketball outside of stats, and I know most people just are stat watchers, so don't be that. All right, take care, guys. I'm actually gonna do my rookie tier list now, so look out for that. And yeah, take care, guys.